that's it.
And that's the scene. That's what I really think we should do. I think we should start the whole episode off like that.
All right, we did it.
Hey everybody, I'm Dane Holland, and I may not be 9 feet tall, but I'll still step on you.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer, and I don't know why he was such a bad Bruce.
I'm Marcus Whitaker, the despicable creature known as IamELECTRICman.
I'm Austin Tiny Zent, and I'm special too.
Yes, you are. And this is Nerd It Through the Grapevine. It's a podcast where 4 best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. And Tiny's got stuff to talk about, and we're going to listen and interact with him because it's a podcast where 4 best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. And Tiny is actually going first, and he's going to talk about something that all 4 of us are going to interact with because...
And we're going to start right now.
Oh, gosh. I thought I was freaking out.
I really enjoyed the unbroken eye contact between the two of us. The whole time he was talking, it was pretty awesome.
Just staring right at you.
My topic today was actually a listener suggestion. And we all enjoy superheroes, all of us as nerds and non-nerds, because we're all inclusive here. We're all inclusive in the Grapevine. And we tend to pick heroes that we, in some ways, identify with. And so the heroes we're going to talk about today are superheroes with disabilities. It's a very fascinating subject matter. I dug into it deeply during this week, and I found a list of some you've heard of before, and some you may not have. And this topic is actually, I'm going to want to shout out Jaden. He's a little boy.
Jaden.
I just want you to know that you may be different, but you're special too.
Yes.
It doesn't make you any less awesome than the rest of us. And the first superhero on my list is Daredevil. We all know that he suffers from blindness and depression and PTSD. Mm-hmm. Moon Knight, he has dissociative personality disorder, which is basic multiple personalities. So he's different people inside of his own head.
His comics are fascinating, of how quick the switches go, just the way he's speaking, and even the tone of the panels change. And it's one of my favorite Marvel heroes, period. Yeah. Because of how it's not vanilla. He's not just the average person. He has things that he's dealing with, and he can use those to an advantage, or I don't know. It just makes him interesting.
Yeah, it almost
normal and bland.
Yeah, it almost humanizes him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So he's very super and he's special, but he's almost more relatable because he's got problems like I do.
Yeah.
The next one on my list is Puck. He's from Alpha Flight. He was on the X-Men cartoon at one point for a little bit. He has dwarfism. Originally he was 8 or 9 feet tall, this big dude, and then he got mutated into someone with dwarfism, and it made him stronger, more compact, incredibly more agile than he was originally. So you can see him, he's bouncing all around like crazy, doing some really cool, super dope stuff.
But being tiny, I'm sure he's super dense, just as a human.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah,
he's bouncing around like an acrobat, and yet if he lands on you, it feels like a bag of bowling balls.
Yeah, essentially.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. The next one is Echo, and she's actually deaf, but she has psionic capabilities, so she's really cool. Then there is Richard Reed, or Mr. Fantastic. He has autism. As you read through his comic books, you can see different signs of autism in him. And in one issue, he actually diagnoses himself with that. And he's like, I'm this way because I have autism. And he's able to do really fantastic things. And he has super focus when he's working. It's actually pretty awesome to see.
He's so awesome. His name is Mr. Fantastic.
Exactly.
That's how fantastic.
That's how awesome he is.
And he's one of the most famous Marvel superheroes / superheroes ever, because the Fantastic Four was one of the first teams, like superhero teams ever made. And and I had no idea of that until you said it.
Yeah.
Like, no idea. That's
I
crazy.
didn't either.
Which, judging by the most recent Marvel movie premiere announcement trailer that they made and the little end logo they've done for Marvel Phase 4, it tells me that we might have hit the nail on the head with our Grapevine prediction on this one, that they will be redoing a Fantastic Four movie.
Wait, because the last one wasn't them?
No, it was 21st Century Fox.
It was Fox. Yeah, it was Sony. Sony? Fox?
I think it was either Fox or Sony. I can't remember.
It's probably all
one
the
of the
same
others.
thing. But it wasn't Disney.
There's actually a superhero that I actually like a lot. I am Shazam. Freddie Freeman, who is a character in the Shazam universe. He's also a baseball player, so don't get confused. But Freddie Freeman is both autistic and he has, I believe it is cerebral palsy.
Yeah,
yes.
I think so.
And it shows different aspects to how his physical disability can, kind of hinder his day-to-day, as well as the way that the autism will affect his interactions with people and how he can focus on certain things. And he knows so much about superheroes and knows so much about the lore and all the things surrounding him. And one day, he gets to become a superhero with his best friend, Billy Batson. So in the original Captain Marvel comic books, that's what Shazam used to be. His little buddy, Freddie Freeman, got to also say Shazam, but he would be granted the power of the gods shared with Billy, who was Shazam.
And he actually makes Billy a better Shazam, because Billy doesn't have that focus on superheroes, like the fascination that Freddie Freeman has with him. Like, he knows how to respond to situations because he is so knowledgeable about this one thing. Like, it's this thing that he knows so much about, and where everyone else may see him as an oddball, he is the reason that they get out of these predicaments. Like, he's the reason that Shazam is a better superhero. And if you pay attention and watch, you can see without Freddy, Billy is not the same hero he would be. Without him, he probably wouldn't be a successful hero at all. Because he doesn't know how to respond to things the way that Freddy does. And Freddy's one of the best parts of Shazam. Period.
So it's like that person with the hardships they've had to go through to have that effect on whatever gives them their power. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Knowing what to do with the power when they get it.
Yes.
That's what it's more about.
It's
because
that moral compass, that strong right or wrong, that reasoning for making good
choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it almost made him a better hero because he was the way that he was.
Absolutely.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
Because when Billy got to actually divvy out the powers, he got to choose his family. Mm-hmm. It is the Shazam family. He got to choose them on who he was going to share his power with, and Freddy was one of the very first.
Oh yeah. And out of that family, Freddy is arguably the best superhero because of his autism and because of him being able to be that focused on being a superhero, on superheroes in general.
And at one point, he was the main Shazam.
Oh, yeah.
In the DC universe. Freddie Freeman was put through what are called the trials of Shazam. And that is where he is stripped away of all of his godly powers. And he has no access to what was previously bestowed to him. And he has to earn the respect of all of the gods. Even though he is different, he doesn't lose. He fights so hard and does so much beyond what the evil side of things that are working against him can accomplish, that even though in the end it looked like brute force won out, the gods said, "You're willing to sacrifice yourself for the greater good. You're doing more than any of us could have hoped. You're the worthy champion." So I got goosies.
Yeah.
But he,
Me too.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the gods, instead of like trial by fire kind of deal, they saw this person who would be abusive of this power and the one who would know how to appropriately use it for the betterment of the world. And they chose Freddy.
Oh, yeah.
And at the very end, I can remember this. They've just got this scene, and he's different looking than normal Shazam's because he always had long hair. And his version of Shazam was just a little bit extra buff, and he had just long flowing hair. And I can remember him flying through, and he says, "I'm Freddie Freeman, and I am Shazam."
Boom.
I stole that immediately, and I changed it on Microsoft Paint to say I'm Austin Pfeiffer and I am Shazam. That's when I had my hair grown out
Classic.
long. I immediately stole that.
That's good.
As you would.
So good.
And actually, kind of along the same vein, they've announced that the Blue Power Ranger also has autism, and in so many ways, the Blue Ranger is how they achieve most of their goals. Like, he makes a lot of cool things for them, and he's very scientifically minded. He just makes so many cool things, and he's able to think through a lot of situations in ways that the other people are not able to, simply because he is different.
He was the best part of the Power Rangers movie. Like, I enjoyed the new Power Rangers movie when they remade it. Like, I thought it was fun. There were parts about it that like Goldar, I had issues with him and stuff like that. But of every single Power Ranger, like, the Blue Ranger was the most interesting character of the whole movie. He was the funniest one. Like, there are parts where like somebody will say something like sarcastic, and he doesn't quite hear the sarcasm in it, and his response is so much better comedy than even the sarcastic remark. Like, he is the funny person, and like, I don't know, like, he's funny, and he's also just an awesome Power Ranger, like, of any of them. And he's one of those, just like with Freddy, like his daily things he has to deal with, like hardships and stuff, like that has trained him to become a better hero, better than anybody else. Because when you think of any superhero, most of them, any of them that come to mind, they've all got something that's happened, like devastating or something, that's happened in their life that they've gotten through, like Batman with his parents in the alley, Superman with his entire planet blowing up. Like, these are just, most of the time, one big event that's changed the way that their thinking is. But like, these heroes with disabilities, like, they're every day, like, is like having to have this thing happen to them every day. So they go through so much more than just a normal superhero would go through. And like, in most stories, they're the ones that end up being the best heroes, like, that any of them can possibly be. And it's like, they're the most interesting to me. Like,
oh yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure.
Well said.
Well, I did actually find a super villain as well.
Oh yeah.
So, it's from Aquaman. His name is Black Manta. He also has autism.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I didn't either. He'd gone through a lot. Like, at one point early in his life, he was a slave. He was owned by pirates, and he managed to escape from them. And he was just mad because Aquaman wasn't there to save him, and they're sailing along through the ocean. So he managed to get away. He made Aquaman his arch enemy, and like I said, he also had autism. Yeah. So there's even super villains that have some disabilities as well.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to see that, as well as all the heroes.
Oh yeah.
Because like you said, we all have trauma.
Right.
Every one of us. And some of us more than others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like anybody can be a superhero for sure. And the more interesting just a person that you are, I think the better hero that you can be.
It definitely adds more layers to the onion or the ogre.
Yeah. Ogres have those.
Yeah, ogres have layers, just like onions.
Yeah, even kitchen ogres?
Yes, even kitchen ogres.
What's a kitchen ogre?
Me.
Oh, oh, we got to get you an apron that looks like Shrek's like body. Oh, that's gotta. Where's my?
That's
a thing, right?
Write that down.
Hold on. Okay, that's
I bet it
definitely a thing.
exists.
That's got to be a thing.
It has to.
Oh, and see if they have one of those things. Never mind.
What thing?
Nothing.
Okay. What did I say? A Shrek apron?
Yeah.
All right, we're just gonna look real
A
quick.
shrapron.
Oh well.
Shrapron.
I don't see any that are his body, but they're plenty with his face on it, so we can figure something out for
Yeah,
you.
totally
Okay,
figure something
good.
out.
Speaking of supervillains, much like Black Manta, recently there has been a character of a video game that has gotten an insane amount of publicity and fan craze about, and it's actually been going on for probably the past year or so since they introduced her. But there's a character, and some of you may have seen this character and have no idea who it is, which I didn't at first and kind of still don't for the most part. But her name is Lady Dimitrescu. How do you say
Smack
her?
that mouth.
Oh yeah, well, I wrote it. I wrote it. It's hard to say, and I don't even think I'm saying it right anyway. Dimitrescu, something like that.
I wish
maybe
I could help you.
I don't know. Anyway, Lady Dimitrescu, she is seemingly the main antagonist in the newest Resident Evil Village game.
Village game.
Village, yeah, Resident. Well, no,
Oh, the really tall chick.
it's not like I just
Like a
imagined.
village builder.
Yes, I just imagined like Animal Crossing, but Resident Evil to where
Give me that. Give me
yes, to where all of your friends, like
what the
all the
fans really
villagers,
want.
yes,
Yeah,
they're all
forget
like
Minecraft.
they're all vampires and ghouls and like zombies and stuff.
No,
yes.
is she the lady that's got like she's really tall?
She is
She's
9 foot tall.
She's got like the big, huge smile. And
yes, she has the largest smile of any villain that you've probably ever seen.
just like two very large, like round eyes.
Yeah, her eyes are very large as well. And that's what's drawn a lot of people towards her as a character. She also has a very large hat, a very big hat. So big hat.
She does, and I've gotten into hats, so
You have?
that immediately intrigued me.
Yes.
just because of her really cool, very large, round, supple hat.
Yes. But this character and all of these features are kind of why she blew up because
Just
she didn't
like her
actually blew up. Oh boy, you can work around it all day, but you're gonna end up there somehow. Yeah, she became she's become one of the most popular video game characters of these past couple of years.
Let's be real. We all want a 9 foot tall Dommy mommy.
that sounds like a Pantera album.
9 foot tall, down in my head. Also, Jaden, if you're still listening, you should not be.
Yeah, don't be.
Oh,
Quit.
bye,
now.
Jaden. You have a good day,
See,
buddy.
But she is the antagonist of this video game, okay? And the protagonist, his name's Ethan in it, and he's kind of a joke because in the games that he's in, he gets mutilated all the time, and he's just constantly he just has rough days, day after day, and he's not got a whole lot of personality. He's kind of like a every guy kind of dude. And this villain has become the main focus of this game for the selling point, at least. And it made me think of other times to where villains have actually taken over the spotlight in situations to where the game or the show or the movie or comic or anything like that, it's most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, focused around the heroes. But in those stories, sometimes the villain has so much more going on for them, and I think that's what draws people to them, just because it's not the same old that we've always seen.
Villains can definitely be the most interesting characters for sure.
And if they're successfully done visually before they're even introduced, it already gets people into it. And I think that's what with this character, whenever they made a 9 foot tall voluptuous woman vampire lady as the main focus of this commercial for the game or whatever, it got people immediately going who is this person? And no one cared about the hero at that point, the protagonist of the game. No one still cares. They just want to see more of this Dimitrescu. How do we say it? Dimitrescu?
I would say goddess.
Goddess. Yeah, the goddess of this game. But I don't know if anything comes to mind of other games or shows, movies, whatever, to where the antagonist actually has more like more eyes on them or more spotlight than the protagonist does?
I believe it was in the year 2013.
Okay, right?
He immediately
so
pulls
far,
out his phone to
That-
try to prove him wrong.
I'm pretty sure you've been right every time on this show where you've said
it was-
a year
okay,
of
it's
anything happening.
In 2013,
Okay, right.
Frieza on Dragon Ball Z
Okay.
ended up having a new reincarnation as Golden Frieza. And they had no explanation of it. They just had all these promos for just Frieza from Dragon Ball Z with golden skin. And we found out nothing about it until it came out. But the entire pool of that movie was based on, let's see why Frieza is so different just looking. So that in turn gives you such a grounded visual on the character that is Frieza that all they have to do is change his color scheme, and now it's an instant draw. Like, something's different. What's different? Something's different about Frieza. I don't know what it is. Turns out Frieza had never trained a day in his life. He was a prodigy. So when Frieza decided that he was going to do something, he did it. He never met a challenge. When he finally met a challenge, he was defeated by Goku. So Frieza gets tortured in hell.
Mm-hmm. Like he does.
And it's not really what you would think of. It's torture in hell because Frieza's such an evil-spirited person. While he's in hell, he's surrounded by teddy bears and singing Happy Joy Time. And he hates every second of it. He's screaming in pain from how happy everything is.
I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah. But honestly, he was in that situation way more interesting than what they had going on with Marcus spilling every ounce of coffee he's got all over his body.
He's more coffee than man right now.
He looked into my eyes as coffee ran down his face.
Your hands are covered in it.
Marcus?
It's in your beard?
You know when the lid just barely comes off and you don't realize it? And you try to drink it and it just pours out the hole that you've created?
Marcus?
Oh, my God.
Smack that hand.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm just about to take my shirt off.
Oh,
Ooh.
here we go.
I wish this would happen more often.
Yeah,
then.
we're going to need a minute for this one.
I knew you spilled coffee. I didn't know it was hot coffee.
Okay, you were at least wrong about 2013. I know that from, that as much. I can't find the exact date of that episode. It was episode 25 of Dragon Ball Super that he appeared.
Resurrection of F is the name of
The movie, right? Yes.
Gosh, that's probably like...
Hold on.
That's probably
like 2015 or 16, right?
Probably. I said 13. It's
2015.
I wasn't as far off as normal.
No, you did okay.
Yeah,
you did
see?
fine.
See?
15. Anyway, yes, so Golden Frieza. That's Dragon Ball Super as far as that goes. Everybody was drawn towards that character just by looking at the images, like even before they knew what Golden Frieza was going to be like.
Yep. Had no reason.
The original appearance of Lord Zed.
Oh,
yes. Yes.
I remember seeing the original release of the episode because apparently it was considered too terrifying, so they actually pulled it and then re-edited it to make Lord Zed less scary.
He's still terrifying.
I mean, like, he's my favorite
Absolutely.
villain from Power Rangers.
Like, he's got gravel and razor blades and a respirator just going on at the same time. Rangers.
All of his muscles are visible,
Yep.
like on the
Yes.
outside of his skin, and he's got the big scary mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And if you got a big scary mouth, you're already going to be scary to me.
Lord
That's
Zed
enough.
was an American creation.
Is that right? He wasn't a part of
He
the
was
Japanese
not a part of the Japanese.
Super Sentai?
And then later on in the series, when Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa are married, notice there's a different actress playing Rita Repulsa.
Yes.
And continue.
That's American as well because they didn't have interactions in the Japanese original. Oh.
I
See,
never noticed that.
I want, and you mentioned,
Ivan Ooze was going through a lot when he had to get Rita and Zed on his side.
Yeah.
yeah, he
True,
was.
true.
That, yeah, he was the most interesting part of that Power Rangers movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because he's what you remember from that, right? I mean, what else
And-
do you remember?
Sammy Hagar.
Well, I remember Zordon being like basically down for the count.
Yeah.
Zordon.
I remember when we
died
saw
in
like
that movie.
a physical Zordon. Like he wasn't just a blip on a radar anymore.
Oh yeah, he was inside of that little crystal chamber.
Yeah, that like freaked me out.
They
as
broke
a
his
kid, dude.
tube.
That was like, I gotta know what to think.
Yeah, because I thought he was just part of the like program. I thought he's just this entity.
Yeah, because he was weird. He actually had like a different actor or something playing him in that.
Yeah.
That was freaky. He was a freaky Zordon, man.
The freakiest part of him was his garb that he was wearing. It looked like, I don't know, ribbed and organic
like it.
looking.
Well, I mean, the lines on his, I'm going to call it a robe, match the lines on his face. And we should never do that.
Don't do
He's
that.
a blob.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
He should have been a blob. But anyway.
He's a morphological being,
Yeah.
whatever that means.
Ivan Ooze,
true,
also wonderful villain that
Absolutely.
stole the show 100 because that actor, his job,
Yeah.
like he did wonderful.
Be over
Yeah,
the
he
top.
Is that?
Be over the top. That's all.
And I mean, and we all know like probably the first one that comes to most people's mind when you think of a villain still in the show.
The Joker.
The Joker.
See, Batman has a Joker.
Yes, he does. And in the Dark Knight, yes, that was the name of
Yes.
that one.
See, Batman has a Joker.
He is the reason I think that the whole trilogy is considered a success. But then again, I'm biased because I don't like that version of Batman. But I mean, it's kind of unanimous that movie was fantastic because of the version of the Joker that he kind of brought to life, like in that. And I don't remember much of anything Batman did in that movie, but I remember almost every single scene in my head that the Joker was a part of because every time he popped up on screen, it
Batman
was
parachuted
exciting.
in Japan.
Did he?
Yes.
He did in the second movie.
In that movie. Yep. They couldn't extradite that guy that was like over all the money that the Joker had stolen.
Yes.
And then subsequently burnt.
So he had to go basically kidnap that guy from Japan. And to get into his tower, Lucius had to like bring this little cell phone and like leave it in the tower so that he could ping it.
Yes.
And he parachuted. But that's about all I remember that he did in that movie.
I don't remember that now. But yeah, that's
Sorry.
everybody's favorite Batman. But I'm like, no.
It's because of
Not-
Heath Ledger.
That's your
Not
favorite
mine.
Joker.
Not my favorite Batman.
Yeah, hashtag not your Batman.
There were parts about that Batman that was good.
Like the Joker.
I mean, Joker aside, like Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker,
Yes.
is definitely one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm still not giving you an answer on that question.
What question?
What question?
Back in an episode, you asked everybody what their favorite Joker was, and I sidestepped it, and I'm still not answering that question.
Oh man.
But
Fair enough.
there was definitely some good parts to that Batman. But I will say, and I hate Ben Affleck. I feel like he's a
But-
terrible actor.
go
but
on.
Batfleck,
Yes.
best Batman.
Yes.
Hands down.
Agreed.
And if you say Adam West was the best Batman, I've heard one person say that.
He's legendary.
I will
yes.
drive to your house, put my finger in your face, not physically inside of your face,
Right.
but point at you
Easy
very
with that,
close to your
dude.
face.
Don't point at Marcus like that. You've got it. He's spilling more coffee. They looked to see if he was actually scared. So stupid. He looked down at his shirt to see
I will get close enough to you that we will no longer be social distance, and I will say, you're wrong, and then I'll leave and go back home.
Okay. That's terrifying enough.
Yeah.
Adam West, yeah, he was great for that time
what that
and for being
was.
like the first TV Batman or whatever, but it's not.
Yeah.
He's entertaining in its own right, but overall, Batfleck for me too, man.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
honestly, he's my favorite.
And
Val Kilmer was great.
Did you?
I stared directly at you.
You stare directly
In your
at me
eyes.
and skip over Michael Keaton like he doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And I
I
know you
wanted
did
to
that on
hear
purpose,
this.
just
Yes, I
because
did.
What about
you-
George Clooney, guys?
Marcus?
When life gives you,
Yeah, just end it now.
when life gives you bipples,
when life gives you a door, how quick do you leave?
Bring back superhero suit nipples now.
I don't believe in that, actually. I'm not going to support that.
Spiders don't have nipples.
But the Spider-Man does.
True. I guess bats don't either, or do they? No, they do.
Surely they do, yeah.
They're mammals.
Yeah, they're
They're
mammals.
mammals.
Yeah.
They have to nurse.
They're mammals.
And feed.
God.
So,
And fly and hang upside down. And
what else they do?
echolocate.
Echolocate, yes.
And
Eat
they
bugs.
eat sustenance.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes bugs. I don't know if fruit bats eat fruit or not, or if they look like fruit, or they smell like fruit, or if you lick them and they taste like fruit,
oranges.
or they sound like fruit, or they hear fruit as, their language. I just don't know why they're called fruit bats, okay?
They hear fruit as their language?
I don't know, like, all the words they hear are like apple, orange, pear, banana. I don't know. What do I look like, an animalologist?
Oh, man. So, yes. My point being, sometimes the villain is the much more interesting part of the story, and that's like right out the gate. It can be that way. And I think once you start seeing that, you start maybe needing to rethink the way your heroes are made. Like earlier, like you mentioned, like heroes with disabilities, there's already something interesting there. Like to where it's like, okay, there's something that we can see as interesting. Like I want to know more about this instead of just the, oh, well, yeah, we know this hero. It's fine. They're just normal them, whatever. Show us the villain. Show us how like all their, personality traits and stuff and the things that make them interesting.
Absolutely. Actually, I've saved many of my answers to your topic for my topic.
Did you save any more coffee to spill on yourself during your topic?
I've saved a little bit more coffee to spill on myself.
Good.
I've actually done it. Y'all missed the first one. It
No,
was
I
just a
didn't.
little bitty
I
one.
just didn't say anything about it.
Good. Well, I was hoping I could let that second one slide too.
No, I couldn't. Once I saw it pouring off your beard, cascading onto your shirt,
Well, I
and
think
still
the-
running
the
down
lid
your
just
shirt.
kept getting more and more like off. Anyway,
That's
so,
the process.
So for my topic, I just kind of wanted to jump, springboard off of your topic,
Yeah.
Dane, and talk about villains that kind of steal the show, but we're going to create kind of our own little villain
I love creating
by
things.
just taking, tell me what villain, like maybe 3, maybe 4, and just some like traits that make them maybe good at what they do or really, really bad, or I don't know. Just traits from a villain to like feed this monster that you're making right now
already
to make your perfect villain.
I've already got one right off the top of my head, and it's just because me being a huge Superman fan, Lex Luthor is an amazing villain to me because he sees himself as humanity's representative, like hero, kind of. Like he sees humanity as people who don't need someone like Superman, who he is, which yes, Lex does a lot of terrible things as a human being in general, but his outlook on humanity as humans are strong enough to be able to overcome whatever comes at them. Like they don't need this alien to come and save them. Mm-hmm. And there's actually a comic called it's a trade collection called Lex Luthor. I think it's Man of Steel. I think it's Lex Luthor, like Man of Steel. But he in that you get to see it all from his perspective. Like the whole book is told from his perspective. So
Nice.
just the villainy that he has that is seeing humanity like being, I don't know,
Well,
powerful to a fault.
I kind of like how you said it a minute ago, and it kind of made me relate because I'm not, I'm not a big Superman nerd like you are.
Yeah.
But what you said about him, like thinking that humanity doesn't need these, godlike men around to save them. Mm-hmm. I kind of relate. I kind of like that perspective, which would maybe, it makes him a more interesting character when you can kind of know what his motivations are.
Yeah.
Let me just read my list real quick.
Yeah.
Because the only one that I could compare to what you said would be Magneto. Okay. Mainly the movies, I guess. But, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of comic stuff, too, to support that. But just really, like, his origin story and just his singular purpose. Kind of like you said, but his is for, like, the mutants.
Yeah.
So he's like, us mutants are oppressed. I'm doing whatever it takes to make sure that they're not going to hurt people like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really like that about him.
That's one of my favorite qualities of some villains is they don't see themselves as evil or bad. they see themselves as the hero in their own mind.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes them
Compelling.
so incredible.
Yes.
Is because they think they're doing good and doing the right thing when actually they're doing some of the worst things.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to be playing Black Adam in the upcoming Shazam movie.
That is not where I thought you was going with that.
And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing Black Adam in the upcoming movie. He is in the Shazam universe, and he is the same idea as Shazam in the modern day, except he was, 2,000 years in the past, or even older than that. I think it was I can't remember.
Don't give a year because I'm going to look it up. It's
No,
gonna be wrong.
no. I'm talking about, his country. But yeah.
So Magneto I chose for his origin story and, like I said, his singular purpose. So I think a good villain kind of needs that. So my perfect villain is going to have that good origin story and that good purpose. I also picked another one from the Malazan Book of the Fallen, which is my favorite book series, The Crippled God. So he's just like this alien god. He's got this really mysterious backstory because there's like other worlds and stuff within the world that are explorable by mages and stuff. But this guy comes from somewhere else. Like, we have no idea. So mysterious, but yet becomes like this main antagonist throughout the series, but yet still is shrouded in mystery. You still never really, really know like that much about where he came from and things like that.
Like, including Kandak. Yeah, you did it out of your head too. You didn't even have to Google
I
it.
had to race it.
Where Black Adam's from. Sorry, he's been struggling with that. I've been sitting there seeing the physical harm that his body was doing internally. This villain, you don't know, are they technically a villain? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't know their motivations completely just because
of... well, like I said, he's from an alien planet.
Yeah.
Or like an alien realm.
Right.
But yet he basically got captured by powerful mages and dragged to this realm and chained to it. And now other powerful beings feed off of his power.
Ooh.
So he's just
there's
trapped.
Motivation right there.
He's trapped in an alien realm, and it's just pure torture to him. He's been writhing in pain for millennia, and just lashing out in pain with whatever power he can muster. Just super brutal, but I don't know, just the way that his origin story is so cool, and it's still shrouded in mystery even after the big finale and everything.
I think something kind of fascinating just that I've noticed right now is that all of us so far have mentioned on a personality level, not even superpower,
Right.
Not an actual
right.
When you think of supervillain, you think of their powers, but whenever you're sitting there going what makes a good supervillain, the power doesn't matter.
Well, the power
can
almost
be anything.
the afterthought.
Yeah, exactly. When you really start to think about that part of it,
absolutely,
power doesn't matter. So
well, especially for my next two, because my next two are just mundane characters anyway.
Hey, easy with that word.
What?
Mundane. I've never liked it. Made me feel boring.
I just now got it.
Thanks.
Dane, you're a special boy
thanks,
too.
man.
So
You're
Cersei
welcome.
Lannister,
Yes.
particularly in the show, she is a bit more relatable than she is in the books because everything that she does for either A, power, or two, her family. So much like her father, who I almost chose, but I think Cersei barely nudges him out as being just a great villain.
Man. I kind of disagree. I think
I can see
Tywin
why
is
you would.
worse. I mean, it is pretty neck and neck. Tywin, he can just eat a bag of dicks. He's just an awful person in so many ways.
He is, but you know what what guides every bit of his motivations, which I think is what makes him so fascinating in a way.
That's true,
and just his pure ruthlessness, which she kind of inherits. She's
She
just not.
does.
She's not as. She doesn't have the administrative, skills that Tywin has.
Right, she definitely does not.
She's too emotional.
She's more your chaotic evil, whereas Tywin is more your lawful
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's a good way of
Absolutely.
putting it right there.
But Tywin is just this super powerful person anyway. He's almost untouchable. So Cersei's a little bit more vulnerable, maybe. I mean, in those books, everybody's vulnerable.
Right.
But really, I picked her for her ruthlessness and her relatability. Because I think that's what makes her a really good villain. So I'm going to feed that to my little monster that I'm creating.
Oh, Marcus's little monster. That's my favorite villain already.
And then, I don't know, I forget how many people have made it all the way through Lost, but Ben Linus played by Michael Emerson, is just one of the most fantastic villain performances of all time.
I actually didn't consider Ben to be a villain.
Well, he definitely starts out as that.
He starts out as that,
But he kind of steals the show.
Understand him, yeah, he absolutely does. But the more you understand him and his motivation, he becomes less so.
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely.
But
in the
any good
beginning.
villain will. And that's why they're so fun to watch, is because we know that they're making like choices we wouldn't make, but we know why they're making them. And we kind of agree with their outlook in a way, but we don't.
Well,
we wouldn't make the choices that they're making.
Using that same point of view, you could even say that about John Locke himself as being a villain.
Absolutely.
And even though he was the best leader on that island, I'm sorry, you Jack fanboys, go back and watch Lost again. He is the worst example of a leader you could possibly have. Every decision he makes is wrong, and he whines about every single one of them. I would follow Locke to the death.
I would too. But
not that I want to die.
I can see myself like in that fictional world. I agree 100% because I think we're led to believe that there is more to this island than we think, and so we automatically want to see that. So we're with Locke, right? He's the man of faith. Well, Jack being the man of science. If I was on a real island, and Locke blew up the boat, I'd be really mad because he just made a choice based on faith for me.
Right? Yeah, I'm not saying Locke is perfect because no hero is perfect.
But John Locke is literally one of my favorite fictional characters of all time.
But he was the superior leader. Let's get back to your actual topic.
Ben Linus.
Yeah.
I chose him for his cunning and his just crafty. He's so crafty. He's so manipulative. He could lie his way out of any situation.
Charisma out the roof.
Not even charisma. No. He is a creepy looking guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought maybe his way with words was
it's more his way with words, and he can logic you into believing what he believes.
Well, plus he just uses the mysteries of the island to his advantage without knowing what they are. He's got a poker face.
He has enough evidence to show you that brings you to his side, but if you follow it deep enough.
He's just a liar.
It's all
he's so good at
you're taking it on faith.
I've never watched a performance from an actor where I have been lied to that many times, but believed every freaking one of them.
Why are you guys making me want to watch Lost?
Because it's great.
I've never,
I know, awesome.
But I've only.
Now you're not getting it from me, and I'm upset that you're still talking about it because I have no idea what you're talking about because I just skimmed through the show when I watched it, okay? It couldn't hold my focus.
Well, it's a lot, so I can see why people would.
But I want Black Adam's. I want Black Adam's sense of responsibility because that's what I'm going to feed to my little monster because the reason he's a good villain is because he's an anti-hero. He's an anti-hero because he does what he believes is for the greater good at what cost? And then you're going to have Green Goblin, but not the one from the comic books. I want the one from the movie because Willem Dafoe has a great smile. And then you've got number 3. I want the Penguin, Danny DeVito, not because of any particular reason, but just because DeVito is the way.
I like how you said that in the most angry way you possibly could.
So, yeah, Austin's little monster.
John Locke, Linus and Lucy, or whatever that guy's name was.
I love Linus. Yeah, like the show.
Give me men in underwear, please, on the outside of their britches. Thank you.
That is all.
I'd rather have that than a well-thought-out story.
The underwear has breached their breeches.
Well, actually, this is actually a good thought exercise because I use this technique a lot when I'm dungeon mastering, when we're playing D&D.
Yeah, Daddy.
I'll take... Thank you. Things can be two things. So, as, I'm building the villains for campaigns, I'm taking bits and bobs from different ones and compiling and making my own. And you see what I'm doing with my hands?
Oh, yeah. Everybody can.
I know, it's totally. We're live streaming that. But just that. So, okay, I'm going to finally just answer your question. Heath Ledger's my favorite Joker.
He did it!
So, I love his sociopathy. It's fascinating. I've always identified with sociopathic characters, like the comedian from Watchmen,
Yeah.
So there would definitely be some heavy sociopathy
Nice.
in my villain. Just that ruthless, not really caring about anybody or anything, nihilist, anarchist thing.
Yes.
So there's that.
like that.
Then really, what more do you need? I
a cool origin story.
Yeah, I mean, then you just need a story.
Right.
Just like what caused that trauma. Joaquin Phoenix, he was both the protagonist and the antagonist of his movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was what would you call that? Antagonist, I guess. I don't know.
Antagonist
He was
tonight.
just the antagonist.
Yeah, he was the antagonist. He was just so broken and just so defeated by life and everything that happened to him, and he was his own worst enemy. I don't really know how to describe the epic portrayal that was in that.
Yeah, that movie would take a lot.
I mean,
of
like
work.
I felt dirty afterwards because the performance was so powerful. But you empathize with him so much because of everything that he's gone through and continues to go through, and just that broken. So there would have to be an element of broken psyche in this villain.
I like that.
You know, so and like we said with Magneto, in his mind he would have to be the hero. Like he thinks he's saving the world, but really he's just trying to control everything and destroy everything and cause as much pain and hatred and suffering because he almost wants them to feel like he feels, because he's felt this way his entire life. And so if they feel like he feels, everybody's the same.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine's just Lex.
I like that.
That's
a
my
singular purpose.
Singular. The one. He is the one true villain. I
Well,
like him a lot.
speaking of villains, do you know Dr. Isaacs from the Resident Evil movies? Did anybody ever watch any of the Resident Evil movies?
Long time ago.
Okay. Well, if you don't know Dr. Isaacs, then you might remember how about the uncle from Kick-Ass 2? Do anybody remember the uncle from
I don't
Kick-Ass
think I saw
2?
the second one. I
Never
think I
seen
saw
the
the
second
first
one.
one.
Okay, hold on.
I remember Big Daddy from the first one.
I got this. There's more. What about that really awful Batman on DC's Titans? Do you remember the really awful Batman on DC's Titans?
He was Bruce, right?
Yeah. Okay.
He didn't do any Batman stuff, did he?
Yeah, just for a second. But anyway, that's the Jorah Mormont, Ian Glenn.
Yeah, he played the Batman.
Yeah, absolutely. He did. He sucked at it.
Yeah, he didn't do good.
He did a really bad job at being Bruce Wayne. Like he wasn't a good Bruce Wayne. He just wasn't. He wasn't charming or gruff enough whenever he was having to be. Like it was all just a very mono.
He was just a British guy trying to play an American Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
and he wasn't doing it successfully.
No, it was very.
Because
I want to hear it now.
Henry Cavill is British.
Yeah.
And plays an amazing
Guy from
Superman
Kansas.
guy from Kansas. And he sounds just like he's American. But whenever you hear him speak normally, you fall even more in love with him.
Well, that's like Hugh Laurie. I didn't know for a long time the man was British until I heard him on an interview.
Who he?
The guy that played House.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
He looks British.
like,
I don't
what
know
the
what
heck?
that means.
He
but-
does.
I mean,
He does,
He does
doesn't
have
he?
that British look,
Yeah.
but he does that American accent so well. And by the way, he also does blues music. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Ooh,
fantastic.
I need to hear that.
Yeah, Hugh
Oh, it's
Laurie
so
does.
good.
I think a reason that Jorah Mormont, because I don't know the actual actor's name.
Ian Glenn. I just told you.
Yeah, I still don't know it. I think he was such a bad Bruce also because of the talent surrounding him by those the actors playing the Titans.
Yeah.
Because they do a wonderful job as all of those characters.
Was this an animated movie or a live action?
No, this is live.
Yeah, it's a live action, and it's not a movie. It's a
show.
It's a television show. But if you've never seen it before, I think that it is on DC Universe, and I think that it is on HBO Max.
Yeah, I think it's on there now. Because now, if something's successful on DC Universe, it goes to HBO Max.
Right.
Yeah, and that brings me to my actual topic, the Testicuzzi. You heard me right. The Testicuzzi.
How much and where do I get it?
The Testicuzzi is $69.69.
Of course it is.
I'm not playing with you. It's offered in two colors, black or white. It comes in only those two colors, but you can spend $49.99 for the optional ball table that it comes with. The ball table is going to be a 2.5 foot tall table that is perfectly etched out for an insert of the Testicuzzi to set inside of it. And for those who don't know what a Testicuzzi is, it's a bubble bath heated attachment that you can use for your ball sack. And it exists.
Where can we procure this magical, wonderful item?
Oh, well, hold on. Most of the time,
Gadgets.
well, gadgets being involved with your bits, kind of scary to begin with.
Absolutely.
Why? But
What-
hold on. I'm not. There is a statement that they made, because I'll let you see the commercial. All you have to do is, and this is, up to you. You don't have to get on the website, but just type in Testicuzzi, Testicuzzi.
I don't know if I want to.
It's a
but...
jacuzzi.
Beans.
That's exactly what it's for. And so, but it said at one point throughout the little demonstration video, it has this guy like squatting over this little table, and like you can't see anything, but you see him demonstrating form. And it says, after a long day in skinny jeans, the best feeling a man can have is dipping his marshmallows in sweet cocoa.
Jesus.
No.
I mean, it kind of makes me think of the potty putter too.
Is that the when you can putt on the potty?
No, I might not be calling it the right thing.
I got the Rooster one of those.
Squatty potty?
No. This is a golf club that you take with you to the range.
Yeah. Oh.
And the shaft
Go on.
is large enough that you unscrew the back and you affix this little golf towel to your belt and you pee inside the club and you seal it back up and put it back in your golf bag. And it looks like, the commercial says, it looks like you're examining your club.
But you're in a field
Yes.
with trees.
You have a little towel to put on your pants.
No, I'm saying pee on the trees in the field.
I mean, yeah. But
Everybody that's golfing is going to go, oh, yeah, he's peeing on the tree in the field. That's fine. We
Yeah,
all do
and this
that.
is something you use in the privacy of your own home.
But why do I want to?
I don't have any idea, but I found out that it existed because I have a guy who's a friend of mine who works for UPS, and he was sitting.
I know the friend.
He was sitting at my work today, and he was talking to me, and he said, "Man, the weirdest thing happened, and I delivered this package to this absolute just cracky's house." And he's like, he was going crazy, just talking, and he was just so excited about what I brought him. And he's like, yeah, you got me this gift. Yeah, this is like a gift to me, man. He's like, what is this? And he's like, what's the big deal? Because the guy just kept hinting at, like, ask me what it is. Ask me what it is. He's like, it's a Testicuzzi. It's a jacuzzi for your balls.
And that's when he shut the door and said, have a nice day.
can we use one in the publicness of your house?
I actually have.
Just get a coffee mug
and
heat up some water.
Well, there's a guy I
Well,
know.
that's what we're doing after
Not
this.
too hot.
Then.
Not too hot.
No, not too hot.
Not too hot, not too
no.
cold, not in that pot that's 9 days old. Rooster's buying one for us to all try.
But no, he's not. I bet he is, isn't he? I guarantee he is.
The Rooster was at the shop today while we were talking about all this stuff, and he is 100% going to buy a Testicuzzi.
So, why?
Is he getting
Now,
the extra table too?
why?
It's actually, sorry, and I messed up the name. It's called the ball bench.
Of course it is. Why do you want to hot what? Why? Why do you want to put the hot water on your Bingles? Why do you want that? Why do you want your Bingles dipped in the hot water? Because, like, most of the time, underwear and stuff like that is designed for cooling. It's like, you don't want the hot Bingles. We're gonna get you the cool. That's gonna be cool.
But I think
It could be like for sexual wellness because there is an optimal temperature for your boys to be
Is
at.
it boiling water?
No, I
no,
mean
it's a
that's why it's
Testicuzzi.
called not too hot,
It's
not
got
too
little.
cold.
It's got actual little jets in there that make the water just move. So it's about the okay.
Have you ever had the bidet accidentally spray on the Bingles?
I have a wife, and there's a female setting
Yes,
on it.
there is.
And it will lift and sift your boys.
It
And
hurts.
it's a.
You're telling me there's a thing designed to hurt you with hot boiling water?
It's not supposed to be
On-
that pressurized. It's just a gentle bubbling sensation that you get.
You don't know.
It's a nest of water for your man eggs.
I just don't think that I want this.
Why not just take a bath?
You know, and it's
Just take a bath.
that's
Marcus.
Some of us don't have that option.
Okay, do you have a coffee mug? Do you have a microwave?
Yes, but how can I fit my whole body in
I
a
don't-
coffee mug or a microwave?
I don't think it.
This isn't for your whole body, Tiny. It's for your balls.
That's my favorite part of my body.
They're the ones I treated most gently throughout the years.
Okay, my second favorite part of my body.
No one wants this. The only reason people want this
sounds
is
like I
because
want
somebody
It's a gimmick.
It's because
It's a
somebody
gimmick.
told you want it.
And you know, that's perfectly fine because if once we watch the commercial together here in a few minutes, we'll be able to see just how many analogies they have for what you dunk into other things. It's absolutely incredible how many times a man can stare at the camera and make a reference to genitalia without actually saying their name and just give you different, making sure you're getting that okra down in your combo. You know, just stuff.
Okra down in your combo?
Gumbo.
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 Gumbo. Okra in your gumbo?
Yeah.
What about Oreos in your milk?
Yeah.
I
What,
like
what else
Oreos
can you
in-
do?
I like Oreos in milk, but I don't like Bingles in
water.
bubble water.
The Bingles and bubble water coming to CBS.
Jets don't go near them.
No.
Yeah.
They're for the sky.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever
Period.
gotten too close to the jet on the wall of a pool?
Yeah.
With my back turned.
With your back
Of
turned.
course you would.
But
the
if you
other way.
spin,
Look, it feels good. I'm not
no.
ashamed.
If you spin, if it's a good jet, it does not feel good. It feels
Well,
bad.
get your back muscles.
I mean,
you know?
every
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
they all feel good.
Honestly.
This just isn't the product for me.
You're dunking
This
your
just
you're
isn't-
dunking your strawberries in sweet bubbly
How
champagne.
much do these things cost?
Apparently.
How much do these-
69.69.
Oh my god.
It's the funny number twice.
And that's what their website said, 69.69.
Can we refer to our genitalia as chicken and dumplings?
No.
This just hit me.
No. But it's also used for sanitary purposes for people that have extra,
Oh, whatever. No, it's
and
not.
A baby
It's-
wipe would do the same thing, but you still don't get to
Exactly.
sell a $50 piece of equipment that,
It's not for anything. I hate it.
don't you want
I
your
don't like it.
We can call them our bubble boys.
Okay. Now I'm getting a little closer
Now, just
to wanting it.
Now, just imagine we are now 75 years old and we still have these working models.
Oh, no.
And we get to actually go into the living room and just not even use the table anymore.
Can you imagine being like 80 and taking on Antique Roadshow? This is my Testicuzzi. I got this from me and my roommate, and we used to stand in the living room looking deep in each other's eyes, and we'd put our bangles in this thing and just stare at each other. It just felt so good.
I stared at his bangles and he stared right at my beans and mash.
And we're staring at the end of this
We
episode.
tried to find a two-seater and just couldn't.
Thank you for joining us and talk about dipping Bingles and some boiling waters.
It's not boiling, it's just jets making it
Keep
bubble.
listening to us on the Spotifys and the iTunes and the podcatchers and the podcasters and everything else in between. Do that and give us a rating on iTunes, a good rating, a 5-star rating. It's like if someone were to give you a high five but only use 4 fingers, it'd feel weird. So do the 5 stars because the 4 stars, it just wouldn't feel right. Like as soon as you click on it, it's going to be like, this doesn't feel good. So just go ahead and do the 5.
And also, if you're feeling like looking us up on any kind of social media, make sure that you look us up on Facebook at Nerd Grapevine, Twitter at Nerd Grapevine, Instagram at Nerd Grapevine, our Patreon to where you can donate and try to help contribute a little bit to the show. It can be found at Best Friends Inc. Oh,
No.
that's the first time I've messed that one up.
No.
Best friends, period. Tiny Inc. period for our Patreon account. And we come to the end of the show now where we do not actually.
Discord.
Oh, sorry.
The Discord. We've got a Discord.
And Datcord.
Look us up at Nerd It Through the Grapevine podcast on Discord. You can talk to the grapes. We're on there live and uncensored and uncut. We got like a meme channel, a topic suggestion channel. There's even a channel that tells you what we've spoken to fruition. So you get to see that, and it's just awesome. Come join us, talk to us, love us, be part of our community.
You can hate us too.
You can hate us too,
become
but
the raisin.
whatever.
Well, Dane, when life gives you grapes,
I'm going to go into the kitchen. I'm going to get a coffee mug. I'm going to put water in it and a little bit of Dawn soap. Just a little bit, not a whole bunch. I'm going to mix it in there. Nice and mixed in with the water. I'm going to put that water in the coffee mug with the soap in it in the microwave.
why the microwave?
And then I'm going to set it to about 13 seconds.
Oh, no.
I'm going to press start on the microwave.
Oh,
You're going to
no.
hear it.
It's buzzing. It's bubbling.
13 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to get down to the 1 second. Oh, and you're going to press cancel.
Yeah,
Because you don't want to hear it
No.
beeping off on you. You want to stop it right there at that 1 second, right before the end.
Yeah.
And then you know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to pour it down the drain because I'm not sticking my grapes into a thing of boiling.
It's not
soapy
boiling water. It's not
I'm
boiling
not
water.
going to
It's
do
got
it.
bubble
It's not
jets.
gonna-
The bubble.